Welcome to the service clinic at Low Country Harley-Davidson. I'm Doc Harley. I received an email from Eddie from Compton, California. He owns a 2016 Dyna Street Bob, and he's about to do his own 10,000-mile service. Now, he has owned Harleys in the past and has done his own maintenance. So he grabbed his service manual and started looking for the critical fastener chart, and he couldn't find it. So he emailed me and said, "Doc, where did they move it in the manual?" And so I started looking up, and I found out that the critical fastener chart quit being published after 2013. I looked in my manual for my 2013, and there it was. On page 150, critical fasteners to be looked at while you're doing your maintenance, and really critical fasteners that you could periodically check while you own your motorcycle. So you may be asking, why do they label it critical fasteners? Good point. There are certain parts. Now, every fastener on a Harley is critical to be fastened. Let's make that point quite clear. But through the maintenance of a motorcycle, you want to make sure that you check different nuts and bolts throughout the motorcycle while you're doing your maintenance. That brings up the subject of, if you are doing your own maintenance on your own motorcycle, you must own torque wrenches. And I put an S on the end of torque wrench because you're going to need inch pound and foot pound. Now, yes, a lot of electronic foot pound torque wrenches have inch pound conversions in them, but mine only goes down to 60 inch pounds as the least amount. And in the critical list, you have to check some very small screws, and you're going to need an inch-pound screw. Let's do an example. On the critical list is the screws on your controls, all right? And they say it should be 35 to 45 inch-pounds, and that's how you check a critical fastener. Choose the lower end of the number, 35 inch-pounds. Dial it in, put your torque wrench on, and listen for the click or the buzz if you have an electronic. This one's set at 35. If it is set, if it clicks, you don't have to worry about that fastener. It is torqued properly. Harley-Davidson says if you choose the lowest setting, go to check it, and the screw moves, now you have to do something else. Take that screw out, clean it. You're supposed to clean the inside threads also. That's very hard for a person to do in his garage. Here at the shop, we have a kit that is a thread chaser. Let me show you one of them. All right, this is quite large, but the thread chasers have grooves in them. And when you screw it in and then screw it out, it brings the old Loctite out. You do that a couple of times, and it gets the major part of it out. Now, for you guys that are at home in the garage, what do? The best thing I can suggest is put the original screw in and out about 2 to 3 times and try to get as much of the Loctite out as possible. Because here's the theory. If you put brand new Loctite on your screw and there's Loctite already in the threads, you're going to get a different resistance when you're trying to torque it down. So you want it as clean as possible. So try to clean the threads if you can. Apply the correct Loctite that you're supposed to. You'll find it in your service manual. Choose the mid of your torque setting when you're putting it back in. That way, you can go around and check for the critical torque, and it should be correctly. There is a theory that if you do the maximum torque on all your bolts, especially a steel Allen bolt going into aluminum, when you are torquing, it is stretching the threads on both components. If you go maximum the whole time, you're putting a lot of stress on your parts, and you can talk to anybody that owns a Shovelhead or Evolution. The primary is one of the key places that starts pulling threads, and you'll find multiple helicoils in an old Evolution or Shovelhead because the maximum of torque or no torque wrench was applied, and you pull threads. So I always try to go to the middle of the specification. It says 35 to 45, I'm going to pick 40, and I'm going to torque it down that way. So when you're doing your maintenance at home, yes, Eddie, they don't have the critical page, but following the regular service manual, they have a quick torque reference guide. It includes a lot of the critical fasteners that the old manuals had. Follow it along. A little extra doesn't hurt if you torque a few other things to make sure that things are tight. I hope this helps you, Eddie, in completing your maintenance critical fasteners. About every fastener on your motorcycle, but there are some that need to be looked at on a regular basis. I'm Doc Harley. We'll see you next week.